Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining me again today. I got a tip on a piece of footage that's up on the Sasquatch Syndicate YouTube page, and I'll provide a link down in the description. Uploaded here a few weeks ago. It was originally shot in January of 2016 and purportedly shows a possible juvenile Sasquatch. Now, according to the person who shot it, she was walking down the road, this little road that you see here in the shot, holding her cell phone up over her shoulder to record behind her, as a lot of these amateur researchers do in order to try to capture something. And as she's walking down the road, she captures this. So I'm going to play it forward for you here real quick in real time, and you'll see just how fast this thing shows up and disappears. Bam. All right. One more time. Real quick. Right. I'll scrub it through for you a couple times just manually, and you can kind of get an idea just how fast this thing shows up and then disappears. Okay, a couple quick things to point out. Right now, you're seeing this as it's being recorded on a computer screen. She said in her little analysis of her own footage that she's shooting on her computer screen from her phone right here. Okay, another thing that I want to point out, and this is kind of important. She's describing this thing as moving from one side of the screen to the other. But if you look at it real closely, as I scrub this back and forth, it's not moving in the shot at all. It is right dead center in the shot. You can see as a reference for the computer screen up there, the computer screen, it's staying in the middle, like I said, staying in the middle of the shot the whole time. All right. And it also corresponds to a very rapid increase in the panning motion of the camera. So as I just play this forward manually, I'm just going to scrub the timeline here. All right, she's walking along. And then all of a sudden, the rate of the panning motion increases rapidly. All right, let me play it forward one more time. I'm going to try to keep it at a level pace here. Rapid increase. All right. Increase the speed of the camera panning motion increases really fast. The creature shows up and then it's gone. The camera slows down again. Okay. That's kind of important, all right? You think of the odds of somebody shooting behind them, and they pan the camera, they capture something, and they keep it in the center of the shot the whole time. That's really tricky to do. As I'm looking at this has all the earmarks of some kind of physical aberration or electronic aberration that's caused by either the phone itself or doing the editing process or something like that. But let's go down the road, and let's just for a second assume that this is a real creature, okay? I mean, it kind of looks like one. It looks like it has a torso. It looks like it has some arms, maybe and a head and a leg going down there. But because of what we see here, we can do some basic calculations. First of all, we can figure out just how long you see it. Okay, starting right here, this is where you first see it. All right, so that's 1 frame, 2, 3, 4 frames, and then it's gone. Okay, 4 frames. And she said that she's shooting this on her cell phone, and they generally shoot at 30 frames per second. 4 frames at 30 frames per second comes out to 13/100ths of a second that this subject is visible. 13/100ths of a second. That's pretty fast. Okay. Now, since we know how long it's visible, we can do a basic calculation on how fast it's moving. Now, we're looking at it kind of at an oblique angle here, so guesstimating the distance here is kind of tough. But just kind of eyeballing it, we can do a basic rough guesstimate, maybe around 10 feet. That might be a little high, maybe a little low. Actually, the more I look at it, that seems like it's maybe a little bit low. It looks like maybe more 15 feet. But for the basics of math, we'll just keep it at 10 feet. All right. 10 feet and 13/100ths of a second. That comes out to 23.3 meters per second, or 52.2 miles per hour. Think about that for a second. 52.2 miles per hour. All right. Like I said, she didn't see it, obviously, because it's behind her. But do you think something that's, 50, 100 pounds moving through the brush at 50 miles an hour would make some noise? I would think so. Okay. Now, that figure might be just a little bit high. Like I said, it's just a rough guesstimation of what the distance this thing travels is. But just for reference purposes, and you can look this up, the fastest speed that a chimpanzee was ever recorded at, and this was an adult chimpanzee, was 27 miles an hour. Okay? Now she goes through and she goes on, if she's doing this analysis here for probably 15, 20 minutes or so. Actually, it's, almost 20 minutes. And she goes on, she starts telling us about what she calls the unedited footage here. Now, taking a quick look here, you can see how much clearer this is. Okay, it's also much darker, indicating that during the post-production process, she lightened it up quite a bit. But as I kind of advance this manually, all right, this is the area where you start to see the subject at, all right? You can see the rapid motion of the camera starts to increase here. But watch what you don't see. Okay, that subject isn't there. But if you go watch her breakdown, her own little breakdown on this footage, she's talking about it. You see it, and then it disappears, and you see the head movement and the arm movement and stuff. You know, for the life of me, I don't see anything here. Okay, and you can tell this is the same piece of footage, but in this case, you don't see the computer screen up here. So I'm assuming that this is a direct screenshot from the computer and then uploaded. But that figure, I don't see it there. You know, I see some camera blur and stuff like that, distorting some of the trees, but I don't see that figure. All right. So just, you know, I kind of figured, you know, okay, maybe during the editing process, she went through and lightened it up quite a bit. So I tried to do that myself. Well, here's what I got. It's still not there. Okay. So right now I'm kind of stumped as to how she got from that, or this rather, to this. How did she get from nothing to this? Now, throughout the course of her video, she does a lot of what you see right here. She takes stills of the frame and draws some pretty little lines around it to try to promote some details you see in there. Now, I've never been an advocate of this. To me, if there's some detail in that video or photo that you can't see with your naked eye, then drawing a line around it to try to promote something, to me, that's just the power of suggestion. The fact of the matter is, if you take 5 different people, show them this photo, 5 different people are going to draw 5 different lines about what they see there. It's in the eye of the beholder, so to speak. But going back to what I was saying about how I was having a hard time figuring out exactly how she got that one figure to appear, well, I think it all sums it up right here in this statement. She says that when she first saw the creature, the only way I had to see details was to stop the footage frame by frame and take a photo of the computer screen with my professional camera, which has a macro lens on it that picks up minute detail. Unfortunately, it also picks up the pixels of the footage and causes there to be some grainness. That's a very important statement right there. However, this method has also yielded the most details of any other ways that I have tried. Well, it's like making a copy of a copy. If you're taking a picture of a picture, you're introducing noise. You know, you talk to anybody who has any experience in photo editing, there are tools and most of those photo editors out there to help you clean up pictures. Cleaning up a picture is how you bring out more detail. Taking a picture of it is just going to introduce a whole lot of noise, and then you see all kinds of fuzziness in there that people interpret as, you know, whatever they want to interpret it as. Well, that's my take on it. If you have any other opinions, please message me. I'd like to hear them. Hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe. And thanks for watching. And this breakdown is in honor of Patty's 50th birthday. 50 years ago yesterday. Thanks for watching.